Hello, this is Adam with DreamMadeProductions. This video is made possible by the very kind donations of viewers like you. Thank you. If you are in a position to help this channel improve quality and grow, please visit my Patreon page at www.patreon.com/DreamMadeProductions, linked below.
It is the 31st century, and mankind is once again at war. The battlefields of the future are dominated by huge robotic war machines known as battlemechs.
In 2983, the Black Knights Independent Military Command agreed to a contract on the Magistracy of Canopus world of Early Dawn. Recently, the Early Dawn trading network had come under raids from pirates and criminals in the area. The Black Knights accepted an MRB contract to protect the highway and rail transit systems, as well as the vital trade goods that flowed from Early Dawn to the Canopus core worlds. At least, so the Knights had been led to believe. The Knights deployed 2 full companies as agreed on Early Dawn, including considerable numbers of infantry, VTOL, and light mech support to guard the fast-moving road and rail convoys. Anticipating a relatively easy assignment, the Black Knights took the opportunity to field test some of the prototypes and inventions their technicians had created. The Force Commander, the Knight of Twos, along with 3 of his lance leaders, were equipped with mechs carrying these advances, including an upgraded super catapult, their prototype upgrade of the existing catapult design. All seemed to be going well. The troublesome raids did not materialize, while field tests of the experimental equipment yielded promising results. Then, a week before the 4th Canopian Fusiliers arrived to relieve the Black Knights, a minor traffic accident would change everything. 2 of the trucks the Black Knights were guarding collided, resulting in the trailer of one overturning. While trying to get the trailer back upright, the cargo began to bleed and cry. Opening the trucks, the Black Knights found not trade goods, but slaves. A call went out. Within hours, dozens of motor and rail convoys were stopped and seized, as at first dozens, then hundreds of unfortunate individuals were found in cages. All transport on Early Dawn ground to a halt, as the Black Knight seized not only the slave transports, but also food, clothing, and other supplies. The Knight of Twos filed an official complaint with their employer, Baroness Morgan Lofting. Unfortunately, the Baroness was not only benefiting greatly from the illicit trade, but was also its mastermind. Baroness Morgan Lofting was using trafficking to fund the public works projects on Early Dawn, Brixtania, New Abilene, and Borgen's Rift to purchase her noble title and protecting her fellows in the Canopian-Capellan underground triad. The graft was simple. Capellan prisoners and undesirables flowed from Arn to Amnesty, to Early Dawn, to Borgen's Rift, and finally on to the palaces and pleasure centers on Canopus 4. Undergoing chemically induced amnesia, and sometimes genetic augmentation, to create knockoffs of the animal-human hybrids popularized on Canopus. Lofting moved quickly to isolate the Black Knights. She cut off all their communication with Comstar, ensuring her complaints of the Black Knights' rampage and seizure of civilian trade would be all that reached the MRB. As the days passed, the Black Knight situation on Early Dawn deteriorated. The arrival of the 4th Fusiliers, combined with her own militia forces, she laid siege to the Black Knight base. Determined to wipe out all evidence they had gathered and resume her trade as soon as possible, response, the Black Knights overcharged their base transmitter, breaking through the Canopian interference long enough to send a 2-word message: Bloody Dagger. A day later, the jump ship Titania quietly departed its early dawn jump point and never arrived at its next scheduled destination. Heavily outnumbered, the Black Knight defenses were all that held back the combined Fusiliers and Triad militia forces. To break the stalemate, Baroness Lofting brought forth her most powerful weapon, a rail-mounted long-tom artillery piece, able to outrange the LRM and AC-2 batteries that had proven so effective at protecting the Black Knight base. Once the massive gun was set up, she would be able to rain down heavy artillery shells on the Black Knights, with them unable to reply. Telling you a sortie is our only choice. We cannot let them set up that gun. If we don't, who do we send then? Whoever it is, they will have to cut across the enemy lines to even reach the thing. Then there is the company of mechs protecting it. Unless we send 5 or 6 lances, then we might as well send the whole mech force. The base would fall in moments. What about by air? Send the dropship out with a full company. Take out the gun, mount the dropship under fire, and then get back to the base. I would be willing, but leaving the base would mean the enemy would have a massive advantage and we'll have air superiority. Our presence keeps their fixed-wing aircraft away. If we depart, the base will be open to their bombers.
We have the cargo plane. They can be made to carry a single lance. We have jump packs. A single lance can be dropped off and take out the gun. I say we go.
Who? Which of our lances do we sacrifice?
No single lance. I mean us. We ourselves go. Alone. We have the most advanced equipment and the most training. If anyone is going to last long enough to take out that gun, it's us.
What about getting back?
If going means taking out the gun, saving all these people, I don't plan on coming back. Lofting is overseeing the gun setup. The chance at a little payback for all this sounds like a nice note to go out on.
If we do nothing, we are just as dead. And so are our comrades. I am with you, Tombs. Until the end. Moon said she wanted a field test of this equipment. I suppose we give her a full field test.
That's agreed? Good. Captain, know you are busy with your dropship. Let's see the cargo plane's flight crew. It'll be tricky flying when we step all those mechs off the back. A lot of weight change in a very short period of time.
No need. I'll fly you out there personally. My XO can handle combat air patrol. If you're going through with this, I owe you no less. Mechs loaded and ready. It took some...
Do not do this, my lord.
Hey, whoa. No kneeling to mech warriors. They're not your masters.
You are not just a mech warrior, my lord.
Hey, don't be on your knees. I'm just a Black Knight. I am not Canopian or Capellan or...
No, you are none of those things. I know who you are, my lord.
I'll see you on the plane.
Wait, your accent. You are Federate sons, aren't you?
A prisoner from the Draconis March. I am Breedian. I know who you are, my lord. We are not worth your life. Flee this place and save yourself.
I think you have me confused with...
I knew your father and your mother. I know who you are, my lord. Your lord...
No, you are wrong. I am just a mech warrior, and my job is to save you and the lives of everyone on this base.
I'm not wrong. Your father was...
If you know who my mother and father are, then you know I am not a lord. I am not better than any of you. If anything, you and the others deserve to be saved. That's exactly what I'm going to do.
But my lord.
Deck officer. Deck officer! Get a civilian to safety. There's about to be an active runway.
Do you like anime? I like anime. You should watch more anime. Use the link below and go to buyAnime.com. They carry a bit of everything, from fun adventures like Naruto to gore-fest battles like Akame ga Kill, to drama classic like Miyazaki's masterpiece, Grave of Fireflies, funny rom-coms, cute girl waifu shows, to let's go with cultured anime that could make a Canopian blush. Not into discs? BuyAnime.com has more than just Blu-rays. They carry manga, light novels, games, even plushies, and of course, figures. So many figures. So if you are planning to spend some quality time with your waifu, why not support the channel in the process? Use the link below and you won't be disappointed. And now, back to our game. Turn 1. The Sentinel walks forward. The Atlas walks ahead. The Valkyrie backs off. The Panther walks to the center. The Crab walks ahead. The Dervish walks to cover. The Red Urban Mech walks ahead. The Crime Lord and her Thunderbolt stays put. The Wolverine walks with her lance. The two urban mechs creep forward. The Firestarter goes up and over the hill. The Warhammer walks, taking cover at the hill. The green urban mech walks. The Super Catapult walks into cover. The Marauder walks, taking cover with his lance mates. The Dervish fires both LRM-10 racks at the Atlas, some of the missiles hitting its center torso. The Valkyrie adds its LRM fire at the Atlas, also hitting its center torso and right leg. The Super Catapult opens fire on the Sentinel with both large lasers and both LRM-10s. Lasers damaging the smaller mech's right torso and left arm, while LRMs explode against all three of its torsos. The Marauder fires both PPCs at the Sentinel, both PPCs ripping into the right leg. The Sentinel fires its AC-5 at the Atlas, but misses. The Atlas fires its AC-15 and binary laser at the Sentinel, but also misses. The Wolverine's AC-5 strikes the Atlas's left leg. The Vindicator fires his PPC and LRM-5 at the Atlas, the PPC hitting its left torso while missiles hit the center torso. The Red Urban Mech fires his AC-10 at the Atlas, missing. The Panther fires his PPC at the Atlas, hitting the left arm. The Urban Mech Lance Leader fires on the Atlas, but misses with his AC-10. The Crab's large laser also misses the Atlas. The Warhammer fires both PPCs at the center, one hitting its left torso. The Baroness and her Thunderbolt fires her LRM-15 at the Black Knight Atlas, but misses. Turn 2. The Firestarter runs, trying to get closer. The Warhammer backs off. The red urban mech walks ahead. The Super Catapult also backs off. The Thunderbolt and Dervish stay put. The black urban mech walks ahead. The Valkyrie aims his LRMs. The Panther walks ahead. The Marauder jumps back. The green and white urban mechs keep walking. The Crab walks and turns by the hill. The Wolverine follows the Crab. The Vindicator walks with the Crab and Wolverine. The Sentinel backs off in forced withdrawal. The Atlas backs off, disappearing behind the hill. The Super Catapult fires both LRM-10 racks at the Long Tom, destroying the half-set-up artillery. He snaps off a large laser at the Panther, hitting its left torso. The Marauder fires both PPCs at the Panther, the proton stream ripping into the light mech's center torso and left arm. The green urban mech and Valkyrie fire at the Atlas, but miss. The Thunderbolt fires her LRM-15, blowing armor off the Atlas's right arm, left leg, and right leg. The Sentinel fires on the Atlas with his AC-5 but misses. The Atlas returns fire on the Panther with his binary laser cannon, destroying the mech's left torso. The Dervish fires both LRM-10 racks at the Atlas, some of the missiles hitting the right and left arms. The Firestarter fires on the Warhammer but misses with his medium lasers. The Warhammer fires a PPC and his SRM-8 at the Panther, but misses. The black, green, and red urban mechs all fire their AC-10s at the Atlas, but the cadets miss their target. Turn 3. The Firestarter walks towards the Warhammer. The Super Catapult turns and backs off, followed by the Warhammer. The black urban mech walks south. The Marauder backs behind the hill. The green urban mech walks ahead. The Dervish and Valkyrie stay put. The Wolverine walks around the hill. The Vindicator walks ahead. The white and red urban mechs walk forward. The Crab walks around the hill into melee with the Warhammer. The Thunderbolt begins to run forward. The Sentinel continues backing off. The Atlas stays put. The Panther Mech Warrior loses control, falling hard on his rear torso. He stands and walks. The Dervish fires both LRMs at the Atlas, some missiles hitting its center torso and left leg. The Valkyrie adds his LRMs, but the missiles miss the Atlas. The Wolverine fires his AC-5 and medium laser at the Atlas, but misses. The Vindicator fires on the Atlas. His medium laser misses, but his PPC smashes into the center torso. The white urban mech misses the Atlas with his AC-10. The red urban mech also misses the Atlas. The Marauder fires his rapid-fire medium lasers at the Crab. Laser bolts hitting the mech's left torso, right arm, left arm, and both legs. The Crab fires both large lasers and his small laser at the Atlas. His large lasers hitting the mech's left center torsos. He kicks out, hitting the Black Knight commander's left leg. The Thunderbolt, Green Urban Mech, and Firestarter all fire on the Atlas. None of them score any hits. The Super Catapult and Warhammer both unleash dual rapid-fire lasers at the Crab. Laser bolts pepper the mech, melting armor off nearly every part of the mech. The Warhammer swings his PPC barrel down in a mighty punch, ripping the left arm off the smaller mech. The Black Urban Mech fires his AC-10, hitting the Atlas's center torso. The Atlas unleashes on the Crab with both SRM-8s and his AC-15. Missiles and heap rounds rip into the mech's left leg, right arm, right leg, blowing out 2 heat sinks in the process. The Atlas follows up with 2 punches, his massive battle fist smashing the Crab's right arm and ripping off the left arm, taking the left torso with it, damaging the engine in the center torso. The Panther fires his PPC at the Atlas, hitting its left leg. Turn 4. The Firestarter walks into the middle of the Black Knights. The Baroness and her Thunderbolt walks ahead. The Sentinel continues withdrawing. The Green Urban Mech walks ahead. The Dervish keeps aiming. The Valkyrie backs off. The Wolverine and Vindicator hold their ground. The White and Red Urban Mechs keep walking. The Super Catapult backs around the hill. The Warhammer backs up with the Super Catapult. The Atlas backs off. The Panther aims his PPC. The Marauder backs off around the hill. The Crab starts backing away. The Black Urban Mech walks ahead. The Dervish misses the Atlas with all of his LRMs. The Super Catapult opens up on the Firestarter with both LRMs and medium lasers. The missiles hitting the mech's center torso and right arm, both lasers hitting the center torso. The Warhammer fires both PPCs at the Panther, damaging the right torso and center torso, some of the protons seizing up a ring of the gyro. The Atlas fires both medium lasers and both SRM-8s at the Firestarter. Lasers and missiles blast the mech, blowing off its right arm. He secondary targets the Wolverine with his AC-15. The heap rounds hit the center torso. The Panther fires on the Atlas with his PPC, hitting the assault mech's right torso. The Marauder also targets the Firestarter with both PPCs, one hitting the mech's head, injuring the mech warrior within, the other damaging the right leg. The mech falls on its rear center torso. The Vindicator fires his PPC and medium laser at the Atlas, both weapons hitting its left torso. The Black, Red, and White Urban Mechs all open up on the Atlas. Most of the AC-10 rounds miss, but a few find the center torso, damaging the engine. The Wolverine also fires on the Atlas, with his AC-5 hitting the right arm. The Firestarter mech warrior injured pulls the ejection lever. The Thunderbolt fires her LRM-15 at the Atlas, damaging the crippled mech's right torso, followed by an AC-10 shot from the Green Urban Mech, hitting the Atlas's left arm. Turn 5. The Vindicator walks ahead. The black urban mech also moves ahead. The dervish continues to hold his ground. The Valkyrie turns around. The super catapult and warhammer hold their ground. The white and red urban mechs move ahead. The panther jumps back, trying to flee. The Atlas runs behind the hill. The marauder aims. The thunderbolt walks ahead. The crab turns, running away. The green urban mech moves ahead. The Vindicator fires his PPC and medium laser at the warhammer, scoring hits on the right torso. The Atlas uses targeting data from his lance mates to fire his vector-equipped SRM-8s indirectly at the Wolverine, but the experimental SRMs miss. The Marauder fires both PPCs and dual medium lasers at the Wolverine, the PPCs hitting the center torso and right leg, the medium lasers hitting the left torso and right arm. The Wolverine fires on the Warhammer with his AC-5 and medium laser. The AC-5 misses, but the medium laser hits the right arm. The Super Catapult opens up with both large lasers and blasts from both rapid-fire medium lasers, followed by the Warhammer with his SRM-8 and both medium lasers. The two Black Knight mechs blast the mech, ripping it nearly apart with laser and missile fire, blowing the engine out of the mech. The white urban mech fires on the Warhammer, but misses. Turn 6. The Wolverine backs off. The Baroness and her Thunderbolt walks ahead. The Crab runs back. The Panther backs off. The Atlas turns around. The Dervish, Valkyrie, and Green Urban Mechs follow orders, closing in on the damaged Black Knights. The Super Catapult backs up and turns. The Vindicator jumps into melee with the Super Catapult. The Warhammer backs off. The black, red, and white urban mechs maneuver closer. The white urban mech fires his AC-10 at the Super Catapult, hitting its right torso. The Super Catapult opens up on the Vindicator with both rapid-fire medium lasers, blasting the mech's legs and center torso. He kicks out, heavily damaging the mech's left leg. The Vindicator returns fire with his medium and small lasers, but misses. He kicks out, damaging the Super Catapult's left leg. The Warhammer, Marauder, and Atlas all open up on the Vindicator with rapid-fire lasers, SRM-8s, AC-15, missiles, laser bolts, and autocannon rounds blast the poor mech, leaving virtually no part untouched. The Vindicator loses its right arm, 3 heat sinks in the process. The red urban mech fires his AC-10, hitting the Super Catapult's right leg. Turn 7. The Vindicator jumps back across the hill. The Warhammer runs around the hill. The Marauder runs following the Warhammer. The Baroness walks her Thunderbolt towards the Warhammer and Marauder. The Crab keeps withdrawing. The Panther backs off. The White Urban Mech runs ahead. The Wolverine jumps back. The Atlas backs up. The Valkyrie and Dervish aim. The Black and Green Urban Mechs run north. The Red Urban Mech backs up. The Super Catapult also backs off. The Marauder targets the Triad Commander's Thunderbolt with both PPCs, one hitting the mech's left arm, the other its center torso. The Baroness returns fire, but her LRM's and large laser misses. The Panther also targets the Marauder, but misses with his PPC. The Dervish does manage to hit the Marauder with a few of his LRMs on the left arm and leg. The White, Black, and Green Urban Mechs open fire on the Marauder and Super Catapult, but none score hits. The Warhammer fires one of his PPCs at the Thunderbolt, hitting the mech's center torso. The Super Catapult targets the White Urban Mech Lance Leader with his LRMs and large lasers. A laser hitting the mech's left torso, while LRMs damage the left and right torsos. The Wolverine fires his AC-5, but misses the Marauder. The Atlas again uses his Vector SRMs to fire his SRM-8s indirectly at the White Urban Mech, but misses. The Valkyrie fires his LRMs at the Marauder, but misses. Turn 8. The Black, Green, and Red Urban Mechs try to get into position to fire. The Vindicator backs off. The Wolverine jumps back. The Marauder backs up. The Baroness walks her Thunderbolt north. The Warhammer holds his ground as the Atlas runs around the hill. The Crab withdraws. The Panther backs off. The Dervish walks forward. The Valkyrie aims. The White Urban Mech charges into melee with the Atlas. The Super Catapult aims. The Vindicator fires his PPC and LRM-5 at the Warhammer, the PPC hitting the left leg. The Super Catapult fires his large and medium lasers at the White Urban Mech, blowing out the small mech's left torso while damaging the right torso, arm, and center torso. The Atlas fires his AC-15 and both SRM-8s at the Dervish, blowing off the mech's right arm and damaging its center torso. He punches out a battle fist, knocking the Urban Mech's right arm off. The Dervish fires his remaining SRM-2 at the Atlas, but misses. The Valkyrie fires his LRM-10, but the missiles fail to hit the Warhammer. The White Urban Mech falls, destroying the mech's right torso. The mech warrior within ejects from the crippled mech. The Black and Green Urban Mechs fire on the Warhammer, a few rounds hitting the Warhammer's right arm. The Red Urban Mech fires on the Atlas but misses. The Wolverine's AC-5 misses the Warhammer. The Marauder fires on the Thunderbolt, his PPCs hitting the Triad Leader's right leg and left arm. The Thunderbolt returns fire with her LRM-15 but misses. The Warhammer also targets the enemy leader, his PPCs both finding the Thunderbolt's left leg. Turn 9. The Wolverine backs off. The Marauder backs around the hill. The Triad Mistress is unprepared for the damage she receives. She slips, falling hard on her right arm and torso. She stands, continuing ahead. The Super Catapult aims. The Warhammer backs around the hill again. The Vindicator walks towards the Atlas. The Panther withdraws. The Dervish backs south. The Green Urban Mech runs ahead. The Atlas backs up. The Valkyrie turns, running north. The Black and Red Urban Mechs run north. The Dervish fires both LRM-10s at the Atlas, scoring hits on the left torso, right leg, and right arm. The Valkyrie locks on and fires on the Warhammer, but the missiles sail by. The Vindicator fires his PPC and medium laser on the Atlas, scoring hits on the right torso. The Atlas targets the Vindicator with his AC-15 and both medium lasers. The autocannon lasers blow out the right and center torsos, breaking the Fusilier mech in half. Green and Black Urban Mechs fire their AC-10s at the Warhammer. One misses, but the other rips into the mech's right torso. The Baroness fires her large laser at the Warhammer, hitting the left torso. The Super Catapult opens up on the Dervish with both LRM-10s and both large lasers, blasting the mech's left arm, left torso, center torso, and right torso. The Warhammer fires his PPCs at the Thunderbolt, hitting its left leg and torso. The Wolverine fires his AC-5 at the Warhammer, but misses. The Marauder fires both PPCs at the Dervish, the proton streams converging on the mech's center torso. Turn 10. The Black Urban Mech runs north. The Warhammer runs, joining the Atlas. The Atlas walks around the hill. The Marauder holds his ground. The Red Urban Mech backs off. The Dervish backs away, targeting with his LRMs. The Green Urban Mech walks north, as does the Valkyrie. The Triad leader backs her damaged Thunderbolt off. the super catapult runs around the corner. The Dervish fires both LRM-10 racks, the missiles crashing into the crippled Atlas's center torso and head. The green Urban Mech fires his AC-10 at the Marauder, hitting its right torso. The Valkyrie also targets the Marauder, his LRMs further damaging the mech's right torso. The Atlas fires his AC-15 and binary laser at the Thunderbolt, heating up his mech. The heat rounds miss, but the binary laser hits the mech's right torso. The Marauder targets the green Urban Mech, his PPCs hitting the mech's right arm and center torso. The Thunderbolt fires her LRM-15 large laser, trying to bring down the Atlas. Her large laser blasts the right torso, destroying the binary laser there, while missiles damage the left arm. The black Urban Mech's autocannon rounds find the Marauder's right leg. The Super Catapult also targets the Thunderbolt with its large lasers and LRMs. Lasers hitting the legs, while missiles stitch across the left and center torsos as well as the right leg. The red Urban Mech fires his AC-10 at the Atlas, the heat rounds hitting the left arm, blowing out the rapid-fire medium laser there. The Warhammer snaps off a PPC shot at the Dervish, damaging the mech's left torso. Turn 11. The Marauder jumps to the top of the hill. The Wolverine withdraws. The Baroness pushes her damaged Thunderbolt forward. The Dervish also advances. The black and green Urban Mechs turn, moving ahead. The red Urban Mech holds her ground, as does the Super Catapult. The Valkyrie jumps back. The Atlas charges towards the Thunderbolt. The Warhammer walks south. The Marauder fires both DPCs at the Thunderbolt, one hitting the mech's left leg. The Baroness in her Thunderbolt fires her 3 medium lasers, SRM-2, and both machine guns at the approaching Atlas. Lasers, missiles, and machine gun rounds pepper the Atlas, blowing out the mech's AC-15 and an SRM-8. The Dervish also targets the floundering Atlas with its SRM-2, scoring hits on the left torso and right arm. The Super Catapult and Atlas open up on the Thunderbolt with the Super Catapult's large laser and the Atlas's remaining SRM-8 and rapid-fire medium laser. Lasers and missiles savage the mech, scoring hits on the mech's torsos and blowing off the mech's right leg. As the mech's head crashes into the ground, its SRM ammo explodes, blowing the mech apart and killing the Baroness within. The Warhammer fires his rapid-fire medium lasers at the Dervish, bolts blasting the left and right torsos converging on the center torso. The Dervish falls. The red Urban Mech fires on the Atlas, the heat rounds hitting the assault mech's right leg. Low or out of ammo, their leader dead. The remaining Triad and Canopian Fusiliers mechs break completely and flee. The Black Knights, themselves crippled, allow them to go. Aftermath. The siege on the Black Knights base would continue for 2 weeks after the Black Knights commanders limped their mechs back in silent triumph. The destruction of the Long Tom railgun bought the time needed. The message, Bloody Dagger, had been carried by the jump ship Titania to the nearest Comstar HPG and was sent across the networks. Bloody Dagger's meaning was fully understood by any Black Knights that saw the message, designating both contract betrayal as well as a desperate call for aid. Black Knight Command would send almost 2 full brigades to early dawn, finding the base still under siege, but the Black Knight Defender standing tall. In the end, the MRB found in the Black Knight's favor, although not for any altruistic reasons. Baroness Lofting had lied about the cargo contents not only to the Black Knights, but also Comstar's Mercenary Review Board, crafting the defense contract. In her attempts to cover up the truth, the Baroness had omitted, quote, living cargo from the vague manifest sent to the MRB. Had she included this vague phrase, the MRB could have found against the Black Knights, but this minor technicality saved the group from further Comstar censure. For now, anyway. The lion's share of the credit fell to the Knight of Twos. As the force commander, he had moved quickly to seize the slaves, as well as supplies to feed and clothe them. The Knight of Twos had succeeded, despite his family's past. You see, the Knight of Two's real name was Lord Tucker Dempsey Davian, son of Colonel Jeffrey Dempsey and Rebecca Davian. In 2961, Colonel Jeffrey Dempsey's assassination of Peter Davian had directly led to the Warriors Cabal crisis. Peter Davian's AFFS Aerotech-censored reforms had made him unpopular with key mech warriors. The undercurrent of unrest boiled over when Peter Davian arrived on Breed to dismiss certain rebellious officers from their posts. As the first Prince's motorcade approached Dempsey's command post, it was ambushed by 5 mechs, resulting in the death of First Prince Peter Davian. Jeffrey Dempsey was taken into custody. However, on Breed, Dempsey was a local hero. He and other leaders were popular with the people, and a general uprising simmered as 5 full regiments of mech warriors refused an oath of fealty to Peter's son Andrew. Not wanting this unrest to grow, Andrew led the Davian Brigade of Guards in its entirety to Breed. The Cabal did not have the time nor the popularity to court more regiments of the AFFS to their cause. The battle on Breed was swift and final. Andrew avenged his father, crushing the rebellious mech warriors. One issue arose out of the battle. Jeffrey Dempsey had married Rebecca Davian, and their son, Tucker, was little more than a toddler. Andrew Davian saw the child as a threat, the son of the man who killed his father, and a potential figure for future rebellious elements on Breed to rally around. Still, Rebecca Davian was the granddaughter of Melissa Rebecca Davian. Melissa Davian had been a hero of the AFFS and was Andrew's great aunt, making the child Tucker his distant cousin. To resolve this dilemma, the Black Knights leader proposed a solution. The Black Knights would take in the child and raise him. His real name would be dropped, and upon graduation from the Black Knights training program, he would take up the position of the Knight of Twos. Andrew agreed to this, turning over the child and his mother to the Black Knights in 2963. Andrew would go on to lead the Federated Sons until his death in 2999, followed briefly by his oldest son, Ian the Hound Davian, and later Hans the Fox Davian, who needs no introduction. The Black Knights would keep their promise. Tucker was raised by the Black Knights and stayed with the Independent Military Command until his death. He would rarely go by his actual name, instead preferring the title of Tubes, until his actions on Early Dawn earned him his promotion to his Arcana name, Temperance. The Black Knight's triumph on Early Dawn has been argued as the Independent Military Command's finest hour. The day a single lance of Black Knight mechs had airdropped into enemy territory, having left their base on what was assumed to be their last mission. This single lance defeated an entire company of enemy mechs, plus killed Baroness Morgan Lofting. This mission, along with other acts, cemented the good doers as an elite force in the inner sphere. Their notions of honor and competency seeing them well through the rest of the Secession Wars, the 1-Year War, and into the Klan invasion. It was during the Klan invasion that the Black Knights would present a repeat of their actions on Early Dawn. And if the events on Early Dawn were their brightest day, their acts in Draconis Combine space would both be perhaps their finest hour and their darkest night.